Hi, I'm Autumn Breeze, and today I'm going to show you how to do this sort of 60s Bouffant Updo. It's great for the holidays. You will need to have a brush, any old paddle brush, cushion brush, a teasing comb or teasing brush. I like a brush. Some hairspray, some bobby pins, and maybe a little patience. It doesn't take very long, but you know, you might need to practice it a little bit. I don't think it's very hard. But anyway, that's all you need to do this little bouffant. I hope you like it, and let's get started. The first thing that you need to do for this style is just keep a couple of front sections from sort of behind your ears. Keep those separate. So we're going to pull those forward. Just about like that. And I go with where I usually part my hair. So you can probably see got a section about like that on that side, and this section's a little smaller because it's the lighter side of my part, but that's fine. So anyway, what you're going to do is section what's left into an upper and lower section. You can pin this out of your way if it's hard to work around it. So this is my upper section. And I'm going to take a little bit more hair. Don't think I quite have it even. That should be good. So I've got these two sections, like that. So I'm going to pin this one up out of my way on top of my head with just a duckbill clip or two. Doesn't have to be pretty because it's temporary. And this section I am going to kind of gather into a ponytail, and then I'm going to twist it upwards. A couple of times. And then I'm going to pin it. And I'm going to cross my bobby pins so that they'll hold. Maybe one more for good measure. There. And don't worry about the extra hair, you can just let that hang down. So now that we've done that, you can take out the duckbill clips that you had in. We won't need those anymore. And what you're going to do is section by section, you are going to tease this a lot because we're making a nice big bouffant. So the top sections you don't want to tease as much because you want it to be smooth over the top. So we're going to just tease it like that. And you can give it a spray. You don't have to if your tease holds well. And this one I don't have to be as neat with because it's underneath. And you can tease the part that was coming up from the part you twisted as well. Just be careful not to pull it out of the pins that you put in. D's. And this section is going to be on top, so I want to keep it smooth for the most part, the top part of it. Okay, now just carefully swoop that all back. Keep it separate from the sections in the front. And gather it up. And I'm going to use a smoothing brush to smooth gently over what we teased, because there is some frizz that I caused. Sorry if you can't see this from my arms. I'm just smoothing over the top some. And because I had curl in my hair, there's kind of a little bit of wave in the bouffant, but that's okay. If you don't have curl in your hair, you won't have that. So now that I've smoothed that, I'm actually going to take my paddle or cushion brush I think I pulled out one of my bobby pins. I did. Need to replace that. I didn't realize I pulled it out. That happens. Just get it back in place. There. Okay. So anyway, I've smoothed it out. Don't worry about it being a little messy. We can fix it later. And I'm just gonna comb this tail, or brush this tail. Just so it's a little easier to work with. The one thing that the curl does help with is for this next part, we're sort of making a big pin curl or victory roll with this whole section. So you're going to twist it around into a big curl. And then you can kind of push it up to get that volume. And while you're holding on to the curl, you can kind of play with it and play with the shape of the bouffant that you're creating. When you get it where you want it, start pinning it. Now my hair is really thick, so it takes a lot of pins for me to get this to stay. I kind of pin it from all directions. Just to make sure it's nice and secure. And don't worry if it's a little bit messy in the front, because we can fix it later. And we'll hide some of it too. can see, you can clean up those sloppy bits that were sticking out from where my bobby pins fell out from the first little twist I did. You don't even really have to do the twist, it just makes it a little easier to get all of that hair up into the bouffant. And I know it looks messy back there probably. If you're better at hair, you can make it neater. That's part of the thing that the twist helps. If you pin it in there, well, you can make it look neater in the back. Okay, so you can play with the top. If you feel any loose pins, you can kind of rework those. Make sure the top is the shape that you want it. Okay, you can see I still have a loose section over on the side. I'm gonna make sure I get that pin down. That should be good. Okay, and now that that's done, we're going to do the front. Okay, so now that we have the bouffant and the back of the hairdo done, we're going to work on the front. So I'm going to section off what is basically my bangs. And I already have some curl in these. If I didn't, I would just take a curling iron and just get a little bend in them. So I wouldn't worry about setting the curl, waiting for it to cool and all that, because I don't really need it to be curly. I just need it to have some bend so I can do the style more easily. So I'm going to take these and tease them a little, section by section. Being careful not to catch any of the hair in the bouffant because we don't want to mess that up. And this is very similar to my other tutorial that I did with the little pin curls on the side over here. So you can see it's a big fuzzy mess. Because this hair is a little bigger, I think, because you've got all the volume in the bouffant. So you might as well make it big. So I'm just smoothing, again with a smoothing brush, the sections that I just teased, just on the parts that are going to show. Okay, and I'm going to take this and hold up the part that I want the volume in, and then I'm going to start to form my pin curl over on the side. I'm just trying to get it to smooth out and trying to get all the hair to lay together so it's neat. See the pin curl? That looks pretty neat. So then I'm just going to take a couple bobby pins and pin this way into the wave because it'll be hidden and it'll hold in all the tees. And then this way into the bouffant. And this one feels a little loose, so I'm going to pin it again. Just to make sure it stays. I don't want it coming out. This one's actually showing. If your bobby pin's showing, you might want to reposition it. Hide it in the hair a little better. got a little bit of fuzz. I'll just tuck that in. We'll hairspray it down. So I've got a really big wave that ends in a curl. And I've got this other section of hair. What I'm actually going to do is take this and brush it upwards and then over. You want to smooth out the side of it. Oops, I caught a little bit of my bouffant. Can fix that. And I'm going to combine it with this. I'll get rid of these baby hairs with hairspray later. So we're going to combine those two. Try not to catch your curl. And we're going to make a victory roll with those. So again, you just twist. I like to twist around my thumb. Make kind of a stand-up victory roll. I've got another pin that's showing. I'll have to fix that in a minute. Kind of spread it. Make sure you hold on to it. My section is trying to come out. Have to try that again. Let it get a little too loose on the side that I pulled it over from. Kind of tuck that, because I don't want that to be really loose. A little loose is okay, but you don't want it falling out. So I poke my fingers through from the back and hold that. And then I pin it down from the front. And that didn't grab this section, so I'm going to do it again. Make sure I grab that. It still doesn't want to stay. Another bobby pin. Kind of play with that, pull it tighter, even after you've got the victory roll formed. I think what I'll do is just cheat a little bit, gather that up, and pin it down into my wave, because it doesn't want to cooperate with me. So you can see it's got this nice kind of echo of the wave and the curl. Can you see that? Oh, it's separating a little bit. We'll stick another pin in there to try and keep it from separating. There we go. I'll fix this. It got kind of loose. Another thing you can do is if you have a loose section, sometimes if it's really loose, you can just turn it into another curl. Of course, you could do this on purpose. Or, if you're like me, you can use it to fix your mistakes. So I just turn it in on itself, like that. See? And then And if it's a little lopsided, you can kind of push it over. And then give everything a good spray. And use that to tame any flyaways that you have. And to make sure everything holds. Found a bobby pin that was sticking out, so I have to put that, tuck that in. That looks good. So this could be a nice updo for a party. For the holidays, you can, again, stick a little flower in it. That would be cute. You could even stick one up here or stick one in the back. Cover up all those pins that you have back there. That'd be pretty cute. For the flower stuff back there, you can stick a whole bunch of them back there. And, you know, it makes sort of two shapes here, so you could fill that in if you wanted. That'd be cute. I wore this hairstyle when I wore my Star Trek original series costume to Comic-Con, Baltimore Comic-Con, because I think it's kind of 60s and fun and a little out there with the bouffant and all the swirls and everything. So it's something a little different, a fun little updo. It doesn't take very long. You don't have to have your hair curled already because you can just curl that. If you don't have curl-in, you might want to curl this section before you try to do the victory roll. It just makes it a little easier. You can do it without curling it, but it just makes it easier. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it was helpful. If you have questions or comments or anything like that, please leave a comment and subscribe if you liked it. Just let me know what you thought. And you can follow me on Instagram at autumnpinup. I'm the same on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook, facebook.com/autumnhbreeze. There are links for all that in my YouTube profile that you can find. I'm sure they're below. Anyway, I hope you liked it, and I hope that this helps. Okay, bye.